Hi, welcome to the AFL-CIO's training on UnionHall. This is Chris Kengot, and I'm with the Digital Strategies Department. And today we're going to talk about how to create a take action on your website. I'm going to show you how to create one, how to archive one, and how to edit it. So first, you must be logged into your website, and you know that you're logged in when you see the creation options down here in the right-hand corner. And also, if you're able to click on this little arrows that open up this admin bar, you know that you're logged in. So when you want to create a take action, you simply, let's just look at what the take actions look like. There's several of them here. When you want to create one, you simply click on the create button. Let's go down back to the home page. You have to be on the home page to get the create button. You come down to the create button and click on create action. So the thing that's slightly different about actions than articles is that an action doesn't actually have a direct landing page. It's sort of grouped together with other actions, but you can't actually go to a creation landing or an action landing page directly on your website. It takes you off-site to hopefully you're using the Action Network tool, and you have an Action Network chapter. If you don't, shoot us an email at UnionHall@aflcio.org. That's UnionHall@aflcio.org. Or talk to your national union about getting set up with your own Action Network chapter. Action Network chapter is an e-activist tool. It's a bulk email tool where you can have petitions, letters to your state and local legislatures. We do regular trainings on UnionHall. So I'm sorry, on Action Network. So once you actually get set up with a chapter, we run regular trainings that you can find on our training page that I'll mention at the end of this training. But let's go back to the home page again, and I'll show you how to create an action. So you go down to the create, and you have to be on the home page to do this. And you go up to create action. You want to give your action a title. So let's go over and see what I set up in Action Network. Here's the name of my action. I'm going to bring it back over here. I'm going to paste it in. You could also type it in if you wanted to. I could just type it in. And here's a description. You don't want the description to be too long. Really, about a paragraph or two is good enough. Some people tend to put a little bit longer, and that's fine too. But we'll paste that there. So you can talk a little bit about the action. And then you can change what the button says. So you could say take action, or you could say sign petition. But the URL is what's really important because it's going to link it to the actual action. So I'm going to grab the URL that's here and copy it. So whenever I created this action in Action Network and set it up and launched it live, it now has a URL that brings people to this action, and I can use that URL in emails. I can send an email out through Action Network saying, hey, come back and sign our petition, and people come back and fill out the form. But I can also link to it through our website tool. So I'm going to go ahead and paste just as a reminder. So I grabbed, you might not be able to see me actually copying the URL. It's just the URL at the top of this page here. And I'm going to bring it back and paste it into this URL section here. Now at this point, I can publish it, but it's not really going to work because now I need to add the image. You can add an image using this tool right here, but if you want to actually in order to make it work and be able to launch it live, you have to use the featured image area to add your image. So I'm going to go ahead and browse for an image. Now I have a bunch of images saved. I'm going to go ahead and just grab this image here. So I have some images saved, but you need to be able to have an image that you can use, whether it's one that you took or one that you borrow from the AFL-CIO. I can also crop the image. It's telling me to crop. I'm going to go ahead and save it just as it is. I can put alternative text. And remember, I mentioned in other trainings that alternative text is mainly for people who are visually impaired. When somebody who's visually impaired, a lot of times their computer will actually read to them. It's set up to read to them. It has software to do that. And then when they use their mouse and they scroll over an image, the computer would read to them whatever your alternate text is, so they know what it would say image, and then it would describe to them what the image is based on your text. But it also serves another purpose, and that is when people are searching in search engines, whether it's Bing, Google, Yahoo, whatever tool they're using, I think Yahoo and Bing are the same tool now. But whatever tool they're using, they can find your image and then hopefully find your action if they're searching on keywords that you're using. And I can, again, just title this this image. I'm not going to worry about titling it. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So now here my image is there, and I can remove it and add a different one if I wanted to. I have my petition button language, and I have my URL. The last thing I could do is I could show this on the home page or not. I could also pin it to the top to make sure it's always my top action if I wanted to. And I could also pin this to the menu bar. So let me just go ahead and pin that to the menu bar and show you what that's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and publish it. Now here's my action. The image is taking a minute for the image to populate. I'm going to go back to my home page. Clicking on my title of my organization brings me back to the home page. I'm going to scroll down into my action area. This is my action area. So now this is my top action, and it pushed the other action down a little bit. And then if I come up to the action section and click on action, it brings me to the action page, and you can see that the action I just put here is here. I can click sign this petition. It takes me back to my petition page. You don't see the form because I'm logged in right now, and I've already signed the petition, so it sees that I'm here. But let's go ahead and go back. Another thing I can do is, it's really kind of hard to see, but if you scroll over the action itself, if I wanted to edit this action, I can't really use the edit pencil because the edit pencil is going to edit the entire action page. It's not going to edit that specific action. So you want to be careful with that. You also don't want to archive the action page because it's not going to archive this action. It's going to actually archive the action page and make the action page disappear. So the edit button and the archive button don't work when you're on the action page, and it's really important that you don't try to use them because you could kind of mess up your page layout. To edit it, you could just hover over any of the actions, and they always have this little edit button directly on the action itself. And it brings you back into the action where I could edit it if I wanted to, change the image and so forth. Now, one thing I might want to change right now is I mentioned that I added the action directly to the menu bar. I just wanted to show you that I could do that. But the title's a little bit long, so I'm going to show you how to edit that. And I'm also going to tuck it under the Take Action section. So let's go back into Edit. And I'll keep the title the way it is there, but I'm going to change it down here. So this is where I click the link to add it to the menu bar. This is how it got added to the menu bar. But let's say I want to shorten it. So instead of, I'll just say trade deals. And I could also just tuck it under something on the action bar or in the menu bar instead. So I'm going to tuck it under Take Action, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. So now if I scroll over, it's shorter, but when someone actually sees my action, it's still the long title, but the link on my menu bar is shorter. And it's also tucked under the Take Action. Now I don't have to tuck it under there because if someone went to my action page, they'd see it anyway. But if you did have an important action and you wanted to make sure people saw it, you could definitely have it pop out here, or you could just make it even a standalone action over here. But there are several places where people see the Take Action. They're going to see it here. They're going to see it, if they scroll down, they'll see their Take Actions. And then yeah, if they actually go to the Take Action page, they'll see it there as well. So we'll click there and take a look. Also, if you're logged in, let's scroll down to the action. You can also edit it directly from the home page. I still have the little edit option. And I'll show you one more thing about actions. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and scroll down. Lastly, if you're an organization that has lower websites under you, so let's say you're a district or a state organization like a state fed, and you have CLCs or some locals underneath you. Anytime you create content, even if it's an action, you can choose which organizations you want to syndicate it to. In my case, I have CLCs and state feds, or I could send it to everybody, all sites, and then save it, and it would go to those organizations only below me. I could also pin this to the top by simply clicking pin to the top, and that way, again, if somebody else is posting actions, it's not going to push my actions down. it's going to hold that action to the top so that my actions stay front and center. And even my own actions, I might have one action that's really important, and I have a few other actions, and as I create them, I don't want it to push down my top action. So you have a lot of room with how you can save that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this article or this action. And that pretty much wraps up how to add take actions. You're not actually creating the action themselves. Just remember, the action has to be made in the action network, your action network chapter. And if you don't have one of those, feel free to contact the AFL-CIO using UnionHall at aflcio.org email address, or contacting your union. Also, don't forget that we have this little question mark up here will take you back to our support page, which will tell you, it'll show you different videos that we have. It has our UnionHall at aflcio.org address, and it also has lots of documentation about trainings for admins and all kinds of things. And then we link back to our training page, which also has all of our videos, which is aflcio.org/training. But we have the UnionHall facts, up and coming webinars, and so forth. So there's lots of ways to get plugged in if you need more training, and you feel free to take this particular training over again if you need to. Thanks again.